Wesley saw out of those 4 pairs in the round 2, these guys played the most number of games against each other. Karyakin is leading by a small margin, but once again, well, those results should not be taken too seriously, because sometimes, you know, Karyakin is, well, has shown his strength a bit earlier than Wesley saw, so possibly he managed to catch Wesley so earlier, and therefore he has the plus. It's like, for instance, I have the plus against Sergei Karyakin. I won when he was like 13 years old. So statistics is not always relevant.
Yeah, okay, statistically he is ahead with 2 wins and 1 loss with a total of 16 draws in classical games. I mean, it only proves how highly competitive is this level of the game. And you can see down on Reznitz also made the first move, which is knight f3. Yevgeny, what do you think? Is White gonna keep this move?
Yeah, I assume. I mean, first of all, Dana is a very, I'd say, overqualified for such a job, right? I mean, yeah. So usually, well, when the VIP is making first moves, so they really don't know. I mean, we had in Moscow, I don't remember who the guy was, but during Moscow Grand Prix, there was one of the invited guests who was not sure. He was told to move the king's pawn, and he was not sure if it's e3 or e4. So even like this, yeah, Dana, of course, is very qualified for first move, and yeah, I mean, if she apparently asked the player, knight f3 d5 is already on the board for Duda and Mamedyarov.
That might be perhaps, well, it's not, of course, a big surprise, because Jan-Krzysztof plays knight f3, and that level, I mean, such a level player, they have to play everything, but statistics show something else, that Jan-Krzysztof Duda has played against Shakhriyar Mamedyarov only 4 times, including 2 games in classical games, and all of them have ended in a draw, and so far he has been playing with White only 2 times against Shakhriyar, and both of these times he chose e4, so knight f3 among them is a new continuation.
Yeah, I think that's the opening concept of Jan-Krzysztof Duda. It's like, I play e4 when I know what to do, and yeah, if I don't have like any specific variation against the player, then I just try to play knight f3, g3, b3, and you know, and have a game. That's what happened against Peter Svidler, more or less, right? I mean, in the classics.
Right, but speaking about that level, how far can you prepare? Because, I mean, the sparring tree obviously is made not so long before the tournament, and how far can actually players get prepared? I mean, obviously they He took on
d5, ab6, ab6. Meanwhile, Duda and Mamedyarov, it seems that they've agreed to draw.
Yeah, I was covering it shortly before that it felt that neither of the sides can actually make a progress, so it would seem this is a huge fortress sitting from both sides, and they decided to call it quits, and draw is just fine. But I'm a bit surprised this bishop d5. Perhaps Grishak is just sure that he's gonna easily make the draw. Okay, he has just one weakness on b4, it's not much.
Yeah, but still, Yapel, from the sort of unclear position with two bishops, he went to play the position where only his opponent can be better. So rook c6, rook c6, I believe b5, c6, knight f3, knight f6, and move for g2, g3, which is, well, a sort of a modern take on this. Slavs, in many lines, white is willing to sacrifice the pawn on c4, while if black takes on c4, white is not planning to take it back immediately. Seems to be a slight surprise for Duda, because he has stopped and he's thinking right here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Mamedyarov has played against Jan-Krzysztof Duda twice with the white color, and every single time he was going for something else. And the bishop on f1 usually was developed on the f1 a6 diagonal. So at some time he was playing e3, and the bishop would come out to d3. So this is probably a slight surprise for Jan-Krzysztof, and he's just trying to probably remember part of his preparation, what Shakhriyar might have played before. So definitely something to think about.
Yeah, and then we have Wesley Karyakin, which we thought would be like super. to disrupt black's idea of putting the knight on b6 to c4. Maybe still black goes to b8. That's the other possibility.
Now we have to try to make this knight c5 probably happen.
Yeah, that's once again this knight c5 thing.
And probably this is the last time when black has to take this knight. I mean, you cannot really undo it.
Yeah, now if knight b7, knight d6 happens now, that'll
So
be
you
disaster.
take and run with the b pawn as far as possible.
Maybe I take with the pawn. Can this be? That would be a funny position, because now those knights really look like they won't move till the end of the game.
Right.
Who knows, yeah?
Well, I don't know. Maybe d4, knight d5.
Yeah, this way.
Very, very.
Yeah, but that's once again all of a sudden from like black being slightly worse, black's position looks holdable. We go all the way back to is white winning or close to winning, because this position.
Draw grid.
What?
Draw grid.
Really?
Unless somebody resign, I think.
No, I don't believe anyone resigned.
Why?
Bishop a5 was played, and Shah gives it away, not even trying. Well, now, as caster, as the commentator, I don't really mind this, because that means a very short day in the office. But really, guys, Bishop a5, white is still better. I don't quite understand what goes on with Shah. Well, let me... Yeah. Remember, second day when he won against Dubov, he was complaining about some tooth pain. So, well, I hope it's not this. Hope it's not this, because, well, that would be...
Well, it does influence, I mean, how you play, how you're actually feeling during the game. I mean, perhaps you had a bad day. I mean, you slept so badly. Nobody knows. I mean, it's the same guy playing the same opponent, but perhaps he is just feeling completely different than yesterday, and this might influence, I mean...
Yeah, but the feeling is that Duda is relieved, of course, and for the few